Hello, my most amazing 4G artists. It's time for a new school year and we get to have our first art class together. I am so excited. This is the worksheet you're going to need today for our introduction. Now, before we get started on that worksheet, I just want to remind you that by 4G, I'm really hoping that you're getting to be comfortable with the elements of art. There are 7 elements of art, and we are going to learn a chant with some hand motions to help us remember these, because we'll use these ideas while we talk about all the different artwork in class this year. Here we go. Line, shape, color, baby, color, form, value, texture, space. Okay, let's do it together. Join with me. Here we go. Line, shape, color, baby, color, form, value, texture, space. All right, now I'm gonna look at some artwork on my wall behind me, and I'm gonna see if you can notice the elements of art in some of those items. So the first picture I want to show you is a drawing I did of Shakespeare. I want you to notice that in this drawing, I used line to make all the different things that make up the picture. So you can see that even where I did the shading here, those are all little lines cross-hatched back and forth. So that's line. The next one is shape. I was looking at this one over here. For this one, I have circle shapes in the background of every flower. This is a good example for line though too. You see lots of different kinds of lines in these flowers. Another good one for shape are the circles in this flower pot, along with some of the shapes that you see in the vase. Line, shape, color. So of course, color is going to be something that really comes out in lots of ways in artwork. So one of the pictures that I really liked that had some awesome color was this one right here, my close-up of a flower. One thing I liked about this is I used yellow and purple together, which are colors called complementary colors. All right, line, shape, color. The next one is form. Now I don't have a sculpture hanging around here because form can be like 3-dimensional, but form can also be the illusion of form, which is when you have shapes that look 3-dimensional, even though they're on a flat piece of paper, like the sphere and the cube in this picture. So the next one is value, and I'm actually going to show you the same picture because value is how I created form. Value means that colors can go from light to dark. And so you'll see the darkest value down here in the shadow. And then this one's kind of medium. And then there's these lighter values where the light is shining. You can see the light value here, medium, dark. All right, after value, the next one is texture. I think that the one that has the most texture is my collage right here. Now, if I run my hand on it, I feel the different paper. Some of the paper is shiny, some of it's more matte, and you can kind of feel the texture. And then the last one is space. And space means that there can be foreground and background. And so I can see that in my Monet bridge right here, that these plants here in the foreground are bigger, and then the plants in the background look like they're farther away. And then that happens too with the bridge in the middle ground. All right, now let's take a look at our worksheet. Let's work on filling this out together as a review of all of the 7 elements of art. You're gonna need some colored pencils or markers. You're gonna need a regular pencil, and you could use a black pen if you want, but that's up to you. So make sure you put your name at the top, And your teacher code is going to start with a 4, since you're in 4G, and then put whatever letter your teacher's name starts with. So if you're in Mr. Hayes' class, it would be an H, Miss Bonema would be a B, etc. All right, now the first one is, what word do we know that is a continuous mark made on a surface by a moving point? All right, that is line, so fill that one in. Now your job is to practice making all these different kinds of lines. So I did the first row for you, and you just need to draw your own. So you can make thick and thin lines, you can make vertical lines, horizontal lines, and so I'm just going to kind of copy what I have here, but if you want to make yours a little different, that's okay too. Just make sure you're following what the lines say. So these are curvy, spiral lines are fun to make. You can go either direction. Zigzag lines, they can be kind of a variety, or they can be more the same. An arch is a line we use all the time in artwork. Nice curve. Scalloped lines kind of are bumpy like that. Wavy lines have a point on them. Loopy lines, kind of like curly cues. A bumpy line can just be really organic. That just means it's got lots of variety in it. A dotted line can look however you want. It could be straight, it could be curvy, it could be loopy. Dotted and dashed are just a little bit longer. So these are broken lines. Okay, the next one, two-dimensional, flat, made when a space is closed. More common ones are given names such as circles or squares. So of course, this is shape. All right, now you're gonna practice making some simple shapes. Go ahead and try circles. And of course, if you fill them in, then that's called a dot. And then irregular shapes, of course, can be organic. Again, they can be however you want, but the idea is they have to close. There can't be an open gap. All right, what element of art is created by light reflecting off of objects? Let's see, line, shape, color, baby, color. Here we go. All right, this is where you need your colored pencils or your markers or crayons. Primary colors are the colors that you have to have. You can't mix these from other colors. You just have to have them. Primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So it doesn't matter which piece of the pie you color which color. Just make sure they are red, yellow, and blue. Now the secondary colors are the colors that you get when you mix the primary colors. So when you mix red and yellow, the color you would get is orange. So just use an orange colored pencil or marker to color that in. When you mix red and blue, you get purple. So pick up a violet or a purple and color that in. And when you mix yellow and blue, of course, you get green. So your last one should be green. These are the secondary colors. Now, complementary colors are colors that are opposite on the color wheel. So we're going to talk a little bit more about color wheels later. But if you look at my example of a color wheel here, you'll see that the opposite colors are complementary. So yellow is opposite from violet. So I'm going to take yellow and color the top, and take violet or purple and color the bottom. Go Vikings, right? All right, the next one I need to check is red. So red is opposite from green. So this might get you in the mood for Christmas. Red and green. And the last set of complementary colors, let's see what's opposite of blue. Blue is opposite of orange. So we're gonna put blue on one side and orange on the other. All right, flip your paper over. There's more on the back. So let's see, line, shape, color. What's the next one? It's related to shape, but instead of being flat, it's three-dimensional. It's measured by length, width, and height. All sculptures have this. It's called form. Now I want you to describe 3 sculptures that are in our classroom or your home, or that you just remember seeing somewhere. So for example, you might know that there's a very famous sculpture called the Statue of Liberty. Okay, now after form, what's the word that means lightness and darkness of a color? Starts with a V, it's value. Now we are going to use a pencil to make a value scale from light to dark. So what I want you to do is leave this one white. Go on the other side and color this one in as dark as you can with your pencil. So you're gonna wanna push really hard. You might wanna color over it more than once. Then go next to the white square and color this one as lightly as you can with your pencil, just barely touching the paper. You might even want to use your finger to kind of smear it around a little bit. Now you've got 2 more spots to make a kind of medium tones. So this one's going to be the lighter medium tone, and this one's going to be a darker medium tone. So it all depends on how hard you press. So now I've got a value scale from light to dark. All right, the next one is the surface quality or feel of an object, like when you touch it. Is it smooth or rough? That is called texture. All right, now here are some pictures of texture. Write the name of something that has those textures. So this one right here, it could be a few different things, but it kind of reminds me of grass or hay. So I'm just gonna write grass. This one here reminds me of, I like something that's been shattered, like broken glass. So I'm gonna write that. And this one here looks like it has the texture of a piece of wood when it's been cut. So I'm just gonna write wood. Okay, the last one. This one is how an artwork shows depth or distance. And that's when it can be the foreground or the background, and we can call it space. Space can give the illusion of objects being close or far away in 2-dimensional works. So we're gonna give these the illusion of depth by shading them in. So on a cylinder, you're gonna color really dark on one side, medium in the middle, and then light here, and then kind of go darker right again at the edge. But make sure there's like a highlight. You might even want to erase it if it got too dark there. Give it a highlight. And then just color this kind of a medium tone.